Your body isn't broken, it's been trying to talk to you. So, why do so many women do everything right? The supplements, the workouts, the protocols, and still watch their hair thin, their energy drop, and their confidence fade? In this conversation, we're exploring the hidden reason most healing efforts don't land and what actually allows the body to receive what it's been given. By the end, you'll understand the quiet signal your body has been sending all along and how to finally respond to it. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health transformational coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head on over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we're chatting with Cristina Marie McKay. Cristina is an entrepreneur and women's health advocate who helps women reconnect with their bodies, restore their vitality, and reclaim their natural confidence from the inside out. After losing her hair twice and being told her symptoms were normal, Cristina realized the real problem wasn't effort, it was absorption. And the insight led her to create Everbella, a wellness brand built around advanced Micelle liposomal technology designed to deliver up to 98% nutrient absorption at the cellular level. Her work blends science-backed nourishment with nervous system regulation, embodiment, and intuitive healing. Through her Glow Renewal program, Cristina guides women out of disconnection and depletion and back into trust, radiance, and self-led healing without forcing or fixing. Welcome to the show, Cristina. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here and to be having this conversation with you and sharing my message with others. So thank you.
I'm really excited to get into this. But first, what's the most significant thing in your opinion as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
I believe that it is bringing joy to the world. The world can feel very heavy. I think all of us, struggle with the hustle and bustle, right? Your alarm goes off, you get out of bed. If you have children, you're getting the children ready. If you have pets, you're feeding the pets, and you're just go, 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 go. And it's exhausting. And I'm here to tell you that you do not have to live like that. Yes, you can still get up and do what you need to do, but you must make time for your peace. And by making time for your peace, it enables you to really lean into your true calling, your true self, and it allows you to bring more joy into the world. And you really want to shift the way you're thinking so that it it just kind of spirals out of you and onto others. So yeah, my thing would be let's all take more time for ourselves, and in doing so, bring more joy into the world and share that with others because we all deserve to be joyful. And the more joyful we are, the more joyful the world would be.
And I think when we feel better, we're able to be more joyful, which is
Yes.
what you help women with, primarily women, I would assume. So there are a lot of women that feel like their body just like they wake up one day and their body is like, oh no, I don't love you anymore. They
It's true.
fatigue, weight loss, they're suddenly gaining weight. And no matter what they do, what worked in their 20s or 30s is like, yeah, no.
Work anymore. Yeah. I completely can relate, for those who obviously aren't aware of who I am, my story begins with I was feeling exactly what you're describing. So
Mhm.
I was losing my hair tremendously, and I did not have children at the time, and I had a bald spot on the top of my head like the size of a baseball. I was fatigued all the time. I was like dragging to get out of bed. I'd get a good night's sleep of 8+ hours and still feeling exhausted. My skin was just really weathered, and my metabolism wasn't, functioning well. So I was bloated all the time. I was just feeling run down and awful. And I was like, this can't be the way life is supposed to be. Like, is this really how we feel as we age? And so I did go to different dermatologists about my hair, different doctors about how I was feeling, ran the blood work, and I just kept getting this resounding answer of everything's within normal levels. It's a very blanket statement, but I was getting those answers. And also told like, oh, this is just a part of getting older, buckle up, buttercup. And, specific to the hair, it was just kind of a mixed bag. Some dermatologists thought it was female pattern hair loss, some thought it was alopecia, some thought it was hereditary, even though truthfully I didn't have a family history of this. So I was just left feeling extraordinarily hopeless, super confused. And I really didn't have answers. And the more that I spread my message, the more I connect with women who are going through the exact same thing somewhere else in the world, right? And they just feel hopeless. And that's how I felt. I felt hopeless. I spiraled into depression and just became very isolated because I wasn't confident. And that's really what led me down this road of like, this can't be it? And so to further my story quickly here is I really kind of sunk my teeth into medical journals, reading scientific data from different, medical websites, connecting with different doctors in the holistic space, not the conventional space, and educating myself because sadly, a lot of what we've been taught isn't true healing is kind of the word I like to use. It's kind of a band-aid healing where, hey, take this to fix that versus getting to root cause. And I'm not a doctor at all. I'm just a gal in my 30s who really lived a transformation that I felt compelled to share with the world because I'm relatable, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I work with them to expand my knowledge. But the point is I'm relatable and like I've lived this experience. I healed myself and you can too. So it pushed me to learn about absorption technology. And even though you can be eating right and doing the right things, quote unquote, you could still be in a deficient state in your body that leads to a lot of these symptoms that I was experiencing. And so I created a company called Everbella where we make high absorption products that get to the cellular level. For those who want the fancy term, it's called Micelle liposomal technology. And in doing that and creating these very specific formulas, I was able to give my body what it needed to thrive. I noticed changes within weeks, starting with my energy and how I was feeling to like a true transformation in my physical being. And have since just shared those products with others. And over 50,000 people around the world have tried them and they're like, holy cow, this really does work. I feel amazing. My hair is coming back, my energy is coming back, etc. But so that's just from the physical scientific standpoint of supplementation, but it's more than that. And that's kind of what I'm sharing now is yes, these can help you change your physical being. But if you really want to feel that joy and you really want to have full confidence and really love yourself, which is what we should all do, there's a little bit of inner work we need to do as well, to really get your body, mind, and spirit all in the right place.
What do you think leads to this pl place that many find themselves in where their bodies just aren't absorbing nutrition like it should? What
So
do you
it's a
think?
mixed bag. I'll quickly go through a few. So
Mhm.
the first thing is your gut microbiome. So there is in your gut a microbiome. It's a lot of different good bacteria and bad bacteria that help you break down food, and it
Mhm.
also is a part of the process that allows you to absorb proper nutrients. And sadly, especially if you live in the United States, so much processed food has ingredients in them that destroys your gut bacteria and your microbiome. So when that is out of whack, your ability to absorb nutrients declines rapidly. And the way to replenish it is something most people don't do. So it's like eating things like fermented things like kefir, sauerkraut, also eating things that have, almost like a high vinegar content that helps the
Mhm.
microbiome. But most people really aren't eating that, or are not taking a probiotic that's highly absorbable to rebalance the gut. So that's one thing that's already up against you. The second thing that's up against you is the food today that's not processed. So I'm talking fruits, vegetables, are not as nutrient dense as they once were. So there have been dozens of studies done where they were looking at the nutrient density of, let's say, an orange in, let's say, the 70s versus today. You'd have to eat almost 10 oranges today to equate to the vitamin C of one orange in the 70s. So that's something else that is happening. And a lot of people say, why is that happening? So if I go a little bit further down the rabbit hole, we're not taking care of our soil. So we're not putting nutrients back in the soil because of the demand of society today. Farmers are just quickly churn and burn, get the vegetables out, get the fruits out, get them to market. And so you could be
And
eating
make them look pretty.
and make them look pretty. So then that's another thing I need to get to. I always people don't like that I pound over the head organic stuff, but when things are sprayed, those chemicals really disrupt your microbiome. They also disrupt your hormones. They disrupt all kinds of things in your body. So they're spraying too. So really, you have this major uphill battle in this, modern world we live in. So you could be eating right and you're just not getting the nutrients you should. And then again, if you're eating processed food, you're already creating this barrier in your body to really absorb the way it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. So most people are at a deficit for the reasons I just described, but you can fix it. So that's what I try to tell people and teach people is there is a way to fix it. And I kind of have a protocol on how to do that.
And your protocol is in your program, or and like how does what you're doing work? Like I know you have a website and you have products on your website. I want to talk a little bit about the products also
Sure.
and maybe how they work, and then about the program that is more all-encompassing where you help
Absolutely.
people move through it.
Yeah, so over the years I've learned that my supplements that I created have helped people tremendously. But there's still just like a missing puzzle piece, right? I can take these supplements to replenish the nutrients in my body. Now I'm going to feel better. My hair might grow back, my skin will look better, my energy will be back. But some women have described that they feel like something else is still missing, right? So that's what I have. It's called my Glow Renewal program is all about. Is we go together on an 8-week program. First, we assess where you are today, and then I kind of go to the drawing board and map out a plan for you. So it might be some dietary changes, might be some lifestyle changes, a supplemental guide based on the products that I have, as well as education on other things you can do even topically. So, for example, a lot of women will take a product to help grow their hair. But there's a lot of things you can do to also promote hair growth that are not just taking a supplement. One huge thing women forget about is blood circulation to the scalp. So raise your hand if you're listening, if you've ever given yourself a scalp massage. Most of you haven't. Because why? You take a shower, you get out, you're ready to go to bed or you're ready to go to work. And so you don't take that time. But the power of a 5-minute scalp massage, using a really good quality oil in your scalp, creates blood flow and gets all the nutrients flowing back to your hair so you can promote growth, you can promote healthy follicles, etc. So that's another thing I teach is scalp massage. I also teach facial massage. Again, even blood flow to your face helps promote elastin production. It helps reduce wrinkles in the face, helps you look more rejuvenated. So a lot of it is teaching women tactics that they can do at home to increase blood flow in their scalp and their face. And then we also focus on, you know, your being, right? So a lot of times we don't feel confident. Yes, because we might not like what we see in the mirror, but it's also really important to like fall in love with yourself, right? And so I do teach women about gratitude journaling. We also teach about meditation and just really finding peace within yourself. And almost like having a dialogue with yourself, right? Your words are more powerful than you think, and so if you speak kindness over yourself versus ridiculing yourself, you'd be amazed, like within 30 days, how much lighter and better and happier you feel about yourself.
I'm over here shaking my head. Uh-huh.
Yep.
And I know you're young, but how does this work for older women?
Yeah, so ironically, most of my customers are not my age at all. Most of my clients and customers are actually women over the age of 50. And so for them, most of them come to me very doubtful. I'm going through menopause or I'm in perimenopause. Is this really going to help me? Is this really going to work? Can I really rejuvenate my hair and my skin at this age? And the answer is a resounding yes, right? I have thousands of testimonials of women who are like, holy smokes, cannot believe, like my jaw's on the ground. So the answer is yes. So it does work for truthfully women of all ages. Yes, if you're younger, are you going to notice the effects more quickly? Yes, because you have that age factor. But if you are older, like just know that this also works for you. Will it take perhaps a little longer? Yes. But I always set the tone for the reality, right? So I'm sure many of you are on social media and you are probably bombarded all the time with like, just use this cream and your wrinkles are gone tomorrow, or just use this and you're going to do this tomorrow, or lose 10 pounds in a week. I don't make those promises. My promise to women is that you have an entire 6 months to experience a full transformation, or give you your money back. I don't want your money if you don't fully feel transformed. That is my promise to everyone. But the reality is to really experience a true transformation, it's going to take months, and that's okay. And I want people that work with me to understand that this is not a quick fix. However, are there things you might notice quickly? Yes. So, depending what product you're taking and what your pain point is, most women report back within 7 to 10 days a feeling of a difference. I feel that I have more energy. I feel more positive. I feel that. Um, so I have a collagen product, for example. They're like, oh, I feel that my joints aren't as achy anymore. I don't feel as tired, right? So there's a feeling that happens first, but the physical being, especially if you've been in this nutrient deficient state, you have to fill your cup before you see the difference, right? So that's the thing about the nutrient side is you're going to feel it first and then you're going to see it. So that's really what the groundwork I lay for people is this going to be difficult for you? I don't think it's going to be difficult. You just need to be patient and you need to trust the process.
I love that. And when it comes to supplements, I have personal experience with a product called ashwagandha,
Love
which
it.
is just an herb.
Yep.
But I was in a place, a really dark place in my life, and I was trying to research how to get out of that place because nobody likes to live there. And I discovered ashwagandha, and I have taken it. I was taking it every day in the beginning because your body needs to build up to some of these chemicals that are in these things in order to make them help your whole body. But
Yep.
after just like a week or two of taking that every day, my mood changed. I really felt a feeling of peace, whereas I was just anxious all the time. It was horrible. And
Mhm.
I, to this day, I mean, this is like a decade and a half ago. It's not like a few minutes. I can still tell when I don't take that ashwagandha for a long period of time, I start sinking back into that feeling. But it doesn't
Mm.
take a lot because my body is already used to how it feels when when I'm taking it consistently. It just, and I don't have personal experience with your products, but I'm assuming that they kind of function the same way. When you talk about that feeling, it is actually an actual, you're aware that you don't feel the same way anymore.
Right. Precisely. Exactly. And I can attest to that. I actually love ashwagandha as well. It's something I'd like to launch actually, is just like I want to call it a beauty sleep product down the line where it's got some ashwagandha, some L-theanine, some lemon balm, chamomile to really help us all get some zen. But yes, so you're exactly right. So um when you first take any supplement, you might not feel anything the first day you take it, or the second day, or the third day, but it's like that weekend, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's all about consistency because you're right. You need to build it up in your body. And then when you're at a good space, you might say, okay, I'm going
Mhm.
to take it every day now. Let me taper it back and take it every other day or twice a week or whatever it becomes. That's your norm to maintain the desired result, right? So a lot of people write that into me like, okay, do I have to take this forever? And I say, absolutely not. No, let's take it till you're feeling good, you're liking your results, you're feeling great, taper it back and see how you feel. Um, and kind of looping back to the hair thing. So my original journey started because of this major hair crisis. And like I don't say I joke, but the truth is I felt like I was balding like a middle-aged man. And I'm like, men can shave their head and kind of still go out in the world and be accepted. Like women, can we do that? Yes, but I feel like we have more identity with our hair. Why? I couldn't get behind why, but I just feel like we do. And so something that was pushed upon me a lot was Rogaine, and the main ingredient in Rogaine is a chemical called minoxidil. And does it regrow your hair? Yes. It's a resounding yes, but it is a chemical. It is a synthetic ingredient. It is not natural. It doesn't come from the earth. It's man-made. Does it work? Yes. But, I say but, you do have to keep using it forever. So as soon as you stop using that shampoo and conditioner, or the topical spray, your hair will fall back out because your hair is only thriving because of that chemical. So I tell people, like, you don't have to listen to me. If you want to go get another option, there's a ton of options out there for you. It really depends on what your goal is. But do note that if you do something else, you will have to take it forever. It is quite expensive and it's not natural. So it really just depends on the person, right? So I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. But for the people who want true inner healing from a holistic level, from a cellular level, to rejuvenate from within, I'm your person. But if you want a quicker fix that is a lifelong commitment, there are certainly other options out there for you.
I love that you say that because that was really going to be kind of my next question is how natural are your products?
Yeah. So let's see. I have quite a few. I'm just going to focus on one because it is the most popular that I have, and it's called Complete Collagen Plus. So many women are aware of collagen, right? It's been pushed in the media for quite a long time.
Mhm.
Celebrities, make it out like it's this, fountain of youth, and it has a lot of health benefits, right? Better hair, better skin, better nails, better energy, etc.
Mhm.
However, my biggest thing is I preach that not all collagens are created equal.
Mhm.
So most collagens, you're going to see powders or pills, for example. And I'm not making this up. You can look it up yourself. It's a scientific fact that powders and pills, when you digest or ingest them and they go through your digestive tract, you're
They
only
go
going to
all the
absorb
way through.
between 10 and 30%, depending on the product. But that the maximum is 30% of whatever the intended nutrients are. A simple example is, let's say you're taking 1,000 milligrams of like a vitamin C pill. You're only going to get 100 to 300 milligrams of what you intended. It's a fact. Is that a problem? No, you just need to be aware of that. And most people aren't aware. So if you really want that higher value of nutrient density, you have to take more. So with my products, we use what's called Micelle liposomal technology. It's a patented technology. It's relatively new, and what it does is the micellization process shrinks down the nutrients. So in pills and capsules, these nutrients are very big under a microscope, for example. Micellization shrinks them down. The liposomal process then wraps those nutrients in a fatty lipid barrier, primarily vitamin E. So that way, when it travels through your digestive tract, the vitamin E slowly breaks down. And by time it reaches your gut lining, because the molecules are small and they're protected, they actually can get through your gut lining into the bloodstream up to 98%. So when you're taking my products, you're getting almost close to 100% of what you intended because of this technology. Are there other liposomal products out there? Yes. Micelle liposomal? Not really. There's not a lot of them out there, which is just taking that extra step to shrink down those particles for better absorption. So that's why when people take my collagen, I always bring up one of my favorite customers. Her testimonials on my website. Her name's Anita. And I want to say she's probably in her late 50s, early 60s. And she always says, I tried collagens for years. And she's like, I think I convinced myself I was experiencing change. And there was some changes. And she said, but when I started taking your collagen, almost immediately, within a matter of weeks, she said, my hair stopped falling out in the shower. That was something I dealt with for years. Always all this fall out in the shower. And she's like, and it was an immediate change. She also noted an immediate change in her energy. And so the point is when you really get more of those nutrients, you're going to see and feel the changes faster. And the other thing that I do is none of my products are like a single ingredient. So my collagen isn't just collagen. It's collagen, MCTs, omega-3s, and vitamin E. So why did I do that? Well, each one of those products, or pardon me, nutrients rather, have a different health benefit. And I really wanted my collagen to be a kind of like an anti-aging powerhouse, right? So the MCT is really good for boosting your metabolism. A lot of people have a sluggish metabolism, and MCT oil really puts it into high drive. So a lot of women, report back that they lose a couple pounds. The omega-3s are really good for your skin. It's also really good for your heart and your overall health, if you know about omega-3s. And then vitamin E is also really good for your skin, your hair, and your overall health, and it helps with that absorption. So really, when you're taking the collagen, the MCT, the omega-3s, and the vitamin E, you're giving your body uh, high absorption of these nutrients that are really promoting overall anti-aging within the body. So I hope I didn't ramble, but I'll just focus.
No, what you're saying is really fascinating to me. I do have a question for you in there for other people who no longer have gallbladders.
Mhm.
How efficacious is your product for people like that struggle with digesting fats? And do you have
It's a
a workaround for that?
Sure. To be honest with you, I've never had a customer come to me that has experienced not having a gallbladder. Um, the fat content, I know my collagen is derived from, it's a bovine, 100% bovine collagen. It's
Mhm.
also hydrolyzed and it's all grass-fed beef. So it's a really good quality collagen. So you are going to have, for example, my collagen has 5 grams of fat in the product. Um,
Right.
so would that disrupt someone? And some other people also report, the MCT oil, also kind of makes your digestion a little different. So I would just have people, clear it with your doctor, right? If you're thinking about this product, go to your doctor and say, "Hey, I have this issue. Is this something that's going to be aggravating to me? Yes or no?" I can't really speak to it, to be honest.
Interesting. Thank you for that. And
Yeah,
thank you
of
for your
course.
honesty, because, rather than just saying, oh, yeah, sure, no problem.
Anyone can take this. I mean, ideally, yes, everyone should take this. There's nothing in my products that's going to cause a health problem. But I
Mhm.
always tell people, let's say you already are, if you're already on some other medication or something like that, always clear it with your doctor, right? If there is any form of hesitancy whatsoever, definitely clear it with your doctor. And then other things I want to mention about my products is they're sugar-free, gluten-free, soy-free, corn-free, non-GMO, so they're all squeaky clean. Everything is made in the United States. We also make it in a GMP certified facility, which is really like the most rigorous clearance you could get as cleared by the FDA. And every single product goes through purity testing. So we test it for mold, we test it for heavy metals, we test it for toxins, every single batch. So you'll never see a recall from Everbella. You'll never see something weird in your product. Like they are really truthfully clean. That really mattered to me because there are a lot of products out there that do have mold in them, that do have toxic stuff in them. So that was super important to me, was making sure it was squeaky clean, making sure it's holistic ingredients. We use organic ingredients as often as possible. And then if we are using any types of oils, they are cold pressed. So if anyone knows anything about cold press, it really keeps the integrity of the oil and how it's intended to be, and it doesn't create an inflammatory response in the body. Again, I don't want to ramble about it, but these are really good quality products. And the other thing I pride myself in is a lot of people want to make a change in their life, let's say with supplements, and you might not stick with it. And so the other key thing is I want the experience to be enjoyable. So all of my products taste phenomenal with no sugar. So the collagen that I have is liquid. So I don't think I cleared that up. So my cell liposomal technology, you're always going to find it in liquid format. So you're not going to be taking a pill or a powder. It's a liquid, and they're so tasty. So my collagen tastes like caramel with no sugar. It's actually sweetened with organic glycerin. That's how we sweeten things. And it really does look and taste like caramel. So I actually give people a recipe book when they purchase my products, because yes, you can just take it from a pouch and enjoy it, but you can like make a caramel latte. You can squeeze it over yogurt and like put some granola. You can squeeze it on a piece of toast and have like a caramel, French toast. So there's a lot of ways you can use it that kind of gets the mundane out of taking a supplement. Of course, you can just take it regular, but I like to make it tasty and fun as well.
And our bodies absorb liquids better than it absorbs the powders. And I mean, just that alone
Mm.
maximizes how your body's going to absorb it into your system.
Mhm.
Um, I love that. And uh, in thinking about it, it's probably not enough of an oil load to really, because you're talking about the vitamin E, which is an oil, and the MCT oil, also an oil. Um, so in my mind, I'm thinking gastrointestinal problems. So I think there's like two ways I could approach it. And just for me personally, I could do half and see how my body responds, or um, or I could just go for it and see how my body responds.
Sure. And like I said, if you take it and it doesn't work for you, I back everything with 100% money back return. So there will be no hard feelings if it doesn't work out for you. But yeah, we have the collagen. We also have a biotin product. So The collagen really, I kind of coin it as like the overall anti-aging product. But if
Mhm.
your main concern is hair loss and hormonal balance, so some women, that's really just their focus. They don't care about everything else. My product, Complete Biotin Plus, is like the powerhouse for hormonal balance and hair. And it again, it's in that liquid format, and that one tastes like a cinnamon roll. It's so yummy. Um, and then I
You're
had,
selling me on just like the flavors, my
they do.
favorite flavors.
And then again, Everbell has been in business for 4 years, and so pretty much every year on par, I would launch something else
Mhm.
because I had a feedback loop with my customers telling me like, "Hey, this has really helped me, but I'm still dealing with this," right? And so then the next thing I launched was actually a beauty gummy. So a lot of people are like, "Why didn't you do a liposomal?" Honestly, because the liposomal technology, it kind of caps out with how much you can put in there because of the micellization process. If you put too many nutrients, it all can't be shrunken down and fit. So I really want to make a powerhouse for skin only. So then I did create something called a NutriBoost Beauty Gummy, which has fantastic ingredients in there that only target your facial skin alone. That, are just things I promise you're not normally eating, right? So like alma berries, Japanese knotweed, things like that, that like, when are you going to the store and eating those things? Never.
Where
But
are
they
you
have a lot
finding
of,
them?
yeah, there's a lot of benefit to for your facial skin, rejuvenating elastin, etc. And then the last thing I launched recently was a hair serum. So I've always been working from the inside out. But I would be lying if I told my customer base that I never used topicals. I always made my own topical hair serum myself. And a
Mhm.
lot of women wrote in like, "Hey, I'm seeing a lot of change by taking this supplement, but I still feel like my hair is a little dry, or I still feel like whatever, fill in the blank." And so I
Mhm.
said, "Well, the reality is I did these supplements, but I also was using a homemade hair serum." So then I basically found a manufacturer who used, all organic, wholesome ingredients. I said, "Look, this is the recipe I've been making for years. Can you bottle it up?" And they said, "Yes, we can do this." So that's been really cool as well. So like teaching women about scalp massage, teaching women about, the importance of leaving a serum on your hair. It's not something you do all the time, but it's something that's really nourishing, maybe on a biweekly or monthly basis. Getting out of the shower, applying a serum to protect your hair if you're going to blow dry it or something like that. There's just I don't say there's lack of education. I'm sure you can go online and find almost an overwhelming amount of resources. So my goal at Everbella, my tagline is like "Be forever beautiful." Is like I want to create a safe space women can come, ask questions, find answers, have a lot of options at their disposal depending what their pain point is that can help them. And again, the newest thing is this Glow Renewal program where like they really can work with me one on one. I can show them the blueprint that I did to like restore my vitality that they can use themselves. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling.
You're good. So let me ask you really quick. If someone is listening right now and is still stuck in a cycle of trying harder, taking more, and feeling more discouraged, what's the first simple shift that helps them start hearing what their body's been asking for all along?
So hearing what your body's been asking for really means you need to quiet yourself. And so for me personally, and when I teach others, is you have to find the time to find quiet time, which it's not about finding time, it's about making time, right? There's 24 hours in a day. We make a lot of choices every day. So you need to make the time, whether it's early in the morning or in the evening, to quiet your mind, get out a journal, write out your thoughts, and just sit with those thoughts. Because a lot of times getting it out of your body releases that stress. And so many women, I don't want to say the root cause, but a major cause of them losing their sense of self and losing their sense of longevity is chronic stress. Like my biggest thing that was really pushing me to lose my hair and get my hormones out of whack, it had nothing to do with me going through perimenopause or menopause, but I was in almost like a menopausal state because of chronic stress and cortisol in my body. So taking that time to decompress for yourself. You are your own best friend. You are a vessel of your existence, right? And so, what I tell all women is if you're feeling like you're spiraling and nothing's working, quiet your mind, take the time and make the time for yourself to journal, decompress, have that quietness, and simplify, right? Like, don't always jump to those quick fixes. I know so many people fall for magic pill marketing, and I promise you, most of them do not work. I did it. I lived it, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on different products. And really, and again, whether it's my products or someone else's, I don't care, but really take the time to look into liposomal or Micelle liposomal technology and supplements because if you're buying pills and powders, you really are wasting your money. You really are. It's going through your body and into the potty, and you're not getting the nutrients you think you're getting for like this $60 supplement you might have just purchased. And I also tell people, focus on your diet. It might seem like a challenging change, but it is a big part of fixing your gut microbiome and feeling better is like nourishing your body with truly, you know, good quality food and ingredients. And that is just like step one of many. So hopefully that's helpful and doesn't feel overwhelming, but quieting your mind, doing your research about what you're putting in your body and streamlining your diet are like the foundation of like getting yourself on the right track.
And how can people reach out to you?
You can reach out to me by visiting my website, which is Everbella, EVERBELLA.com. And you can find me there. You can read my story there. You can check out my products there, my programs there. And if you are visiting and feel so compelled to want to try something, I do have a coupon code for your wonderful community. It's just your world order. That's it.
The
Your
U
world
World
order.
Order. U World
Yes.
Order. YOU.
Yes, YOU, World Order. And if you use that coupon code anywhere on my site, you can get 30% off your entire purchase. So again, if you feel so compelled, of course, would love to have you in my community.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful and enjoyable conversation with you, and I hope my story helps some other women feel seen and heard. And I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You can learn more about Christina and the Glow Renewal program and the Everbella products by visiting everbella.com and be sure to use the coupon U World Order should you decide to make a purchase. And I thank you all for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.